and welcome to Pallegney. This is where we've had our family farm for many years and generations, in fact. It's a beautiful farm. However, our Patriarch has passed away recently, and it's all very sad. Our mother had died a little bit earlier, well, a couple of years ago, and and unfortunately what's happened is that we used to own, let's just have a look at a view of the map. We used to own, this is where we are now, we used to own pretty much all these fields out the back here, and this grass field here. We had a good herd of cows, got a couple of chickens milling around the place, but recent government changes have necessitated that the farm be sold. And the reason is that very high taxes, death benefit taxes or inheritance taxes, have been imposed on the farmers in our land, well, in our country, by the powers that be. And as we are a fairly big family, we've not really had a situation where we could divide up the property or the farm, and essentially what's happened is we've had to sell off a large part of the lands. We've had to sell off all the lands except for this field 103, and all the buildings that we have here. Now these have all gone into a trust, because after we have divided up what was left, and it wasn't much from the sale of the land, etc., we were left with this plot of land that has all this on, and it's valued at about $500,000, or just over $500,000. And between, when I say we have a big family, there's myself and two other brothers and a sister, and we've all got a bit of money out of the lands that were sold. We now all are trustees of the farm, and we've decided that it's going to be sold. However, the rest of my family have given me 5 years to raise the funds to be able to buy them out. So we do have this little area. In the meantime, this farm is going to be leased out to a third party. I will keep control of the dairy, which is here, and we would be able to make cheese, but I can't utilize any of the other land here now. I can't, for argument's sake, collect the chickens or feed the chickens. That's going to be done by somebody else, by a tenant. Can't put any cattle in. The tenant has a 3-year lease at the moment, so 3 years is the minimum time the minimum time before I can take it back, and the maximum time is 5 years. If I have not managed to collect 500,000 within the 5-year period, then I will not be able to buy our family farm. Of course, it's probably won't include, well, it doesn't include any of the lands except the one field, which is this field here. Right, so that's basically the background. All very sad. Um, as I say, I do have a well, I do still have the ownership of the cheese factory, but I don't have a lot of money. I've got £16,000 or euros. It's probably in this case. I'm just keeping things in pounds for one or the other. And yeah, I'm at a little bit of a loss as to what I want to do. In any case, so that's me. That's also not the full story, because I do have a really, really small holding. And let me just get this all opened up. We'll just get on the bike here. They'll take you up to my small holding, which is basically a subsistence farm, really. And we will go and have a look and see what I have up there, and I will let you know then what the plan is. So this is something that I've had since I was a young lad. I started it. I was given a little bit of land, as we each of us siblings. So I have this very small piece of land, quite away from here. Get on our bike and we'll get up there. In the meantime, we'll just show you where we can go for a little ride through the countryside of this wonderful map by, well, look at that, by MA7 Studio. Fantastic map, very well crafted. Love it. Pallegney. I'm never sure how to pronounce it. My French is non-existent, to say the least. So yeah, so over the years I've kind of added little bits and pieces, and I've built little things, and I got a little bit of money out of the sale of the lands. So we've got a little bit going on. Just go past the shop on the left hand side there. We've got a little bit going on, and it's going to give us a start. I did establish a little farm shop up in this area. It's a very small field. Well, it's a very small field it was, but I've made it into a little subsistence place. I've got a little house on there, got some sheds, and a couple of vegetable patches which I used to let out as allotments to different people, but I've taken those back, and we're going to work those for our own account now. And we have a goat pen up there with 4 goats in it, so that we'll be able to get some milk back for our... Oops, accident here. Let's have a stop and just see if everybody's okay. Don't know why that's happened. Let's have a look. Whoa, look at that. 911. We'll get onto 911 and we'll get them to come and sort it out. They should be here fairly soon. Both people in there are talking. They look okay, which is a miracle, but they can't get out, so I'm sure the fire engine will be up fairly soon. Meantime, we'll head on back up there to the farm. I'm going to call it our farm. It's really a small holding. Got to get up this hill now. Not too far away now. Fantastic aqueduct. Bridge, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so it's going to be a struggle to be able to buy back. So we've got to get about 600,000. We've got to make about 600,000 in 5 years. Doesn't sound a lot, but when you've got nothing, you know, you've got 16,000 euros to start with. Well, it's not entirely true, because you'll see when we get up to a small holding that we do have some things. You know, we do have equipment. We do have some equipment, let's put it that way. And we have some ways of generating income. With regard to the rules of the game, we're not going to be able to utilize any loans until after the first year, or until after we've... Well, basically, I don't want to do it with any loans, basically. But it may be... We may be able to use short-term loans. We'll see as we go along. We're playing on 5 times speed. And pretty much everything else is kind of normal. So here we are. So let's just put our bike here. And yeah, so here we have our house. Needs a lick of paint, but it's watertight. We have a little mower, which we've got to mow our lawns in between everything, and maybe we can start getting some money in from mowing for people around us. We'll see what happens. We can perhaps get a couple of odd jobs there. This is our farm shop. Nothing in there at the moment, because we really haven't opened it up yet. We don't really have much to sell there just yet. And then we've got a couple of sheds here. Front end loader. We do use manure in our small holding things, which you'll get to see soon. And so a lot of farmers come through and drop off manure here, and then we just pay for them as we use it. We have a John Deere tractor, a 3650 with a trailer, 12,000 litre trailer. We have a very small silo. It only takes about 20,000 litres or 30,000 litres of product. We've got a little bit of wheat in there for feeding our chickens. So we have some free-range chickens. There they are at the back there. I think we have 3 chickens and a rooster. And then we have our goats. Let's jump over the fence. We've got 1, 2, 4 goats. They should bring in some milk for us. Right, their health is still 35, only just getting back. If we go into our animal pens and check up. So we've got the chickens there, their health is getting up to 40%, so they should start producing soon. We've got no cows. That's the cow barn on the farm, on the home farm. That's in the trust, so we can't do anything with that. We've also got some chickens down there. That's also not what we can do anything with. And then these are our goats. And at the moment they can get 100% of what they need from the meadow, so we don't have to feed anything. We might have to feed at a later stage. Right. As I said, we do need to do a bit of grass mowing of our verges, etc. Well, just in between our bits and pieces. And then these are the allotments that I used to let out. And there are still some stuff, some incoming materials in here. So we will just decide what we're going to plant where. So I think while we're here, we can do them as we go through and have a look at them and just... So let's go back and have a look and see which ones produce the most money. And I think that's where we need to start. So if we go down here somewhere, the chili peppers, they bring in around about 1200 litre per 1,000 litres. What do we get for goat's milk? We don't see any goat's milk here, do we? Eggs, well, we know that eggs is well, we've got eggs, so we'll sell those wherever we can. Most of it's probably going to be sold through our farm shop. So garlic looks good, also at about 1,000 odd. Goat milk looks very good. Farm cheese, so we might just sell milk to start with rather than make cheese. We'll see what goat cheese. We can get a bottling factory somewhere along the line, but goat cheese, it's 5,000. With goat milk is 8,000 per 1,000 litres. So it doesn't make any sense to actually make the cheese. Goat cheese, what is the recipe for goat cheese? That looks very strange. We'll have to check that out. Right, so let's have a look and see. So I think, yeah, we will do chili peppers in this one. So let's activate that. We'll activate that. And then we've got, so I think we've got 4 of these. 3 down here and 1 at the top. This one we will do garlic, I think. So we'll do garlic in this one. And we'll activate. That's all looking well. Now I'll show you our watering system. Now we've got... No, we don't want to activate that. Let's get down to the next one. Get that going. And I think in this one here, we'll do some spring onions. We'll activate that. And then we'll go through and do this last one, which I think we'll do Napa cabbage in. Napa cabbage, there we go. And activate. Right, so we've got those going. So let me just show you. So we've got this great big windmill, because we're sitting nicely on top of the hill here. Well, we're not right at the top of the hill, but we're close to the top. And from there we pump water through this little system that we have here. And that pumps directly into the 4 allotments, I suppose you could call them. I'm going to keep them as different little operations because hopefully once, over the next couple of years, once we've raised enough money, and most of our money is going to come from selling in the farm shop. We might put up a couple of little things here depending on how well it goes. Well, that's basically it. That is where we are at the moment. We've got pretty much nothing. We'll probably go into a bit of debt, and we might have to finance a bit of debt to pay for the upkeep of everything that is here. Especially our pumping system, that could take quite a bit of yeah, so that is working quite well. Yeah, well, I think that's where we're going to end this introductory episode. I do hope you are as excited as I am about this series. We're going to be spending a lot of time pretty much in and around this area here, getting down to our farm. We will also go and look to get some small little mowing jobs. We'll have to quote per job depending on the size of people's houses and see if they accept them or not. So thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheerio.